We're live. Countdown. Hello, I'm Willie Bragg, with the Willie Bragg Show. I'm here to discuss the political issues of the day. And I do apologize, but I've been having the worst difficulty tonight with this StreamYard software. And I'm hoping that this will be the ultimate video as far as discussing this issue regarding Zac and Gavin from the Vanguard, Jimmy Dore, Emma Vigeland, and Independent Political Action. And as I said, my battery on my mouse was causing the problem. So I'm glad I found out what the hell was going on. So hopefully this time there will be a video that's going to stay up. Now, to the subject at hand. Yesterday on the Vanguard with Zac and Gavin, and I'm going to make it a point to always add all the online left whenever I have a discussion about their programs. Even people. I mean, when I like Zac and Gavin, I consider myself pro Vanguard, but I will put down the link on the description box for the Vanguard. I will even put the description down in the description box. Planning to even put online left programs that I don't care for. So because I want to be equal about it and fair, because even people I'm critical of, they do, in some cases I will argue that they serve a useful purpose, even though I'm not seeing eye to eye. So whether it's the Young Turks or the gray zone, and ideologically I'm somewhere in between. I think it's only fair to add everybody so we can kind of all help each other. We have algorithm discrimination being imposed on by YouTube. That's problematic, and it's really an assault on our First Amendment rights. The meritocracy is no longer there. Is how corporate you are, and they want just corporate news. Well, I can go into that. You'll hear me go into that another time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play you I'm going to play you the video of Gavin and Zac in regard to Jimmy Dore, Emma Vigeland, and the mix-up on how the politics perspective and what actions to take electorally, and kind of do my part to clear things up. Here I go.
Actually, over the weekend, a lot of people were giving their take on this in both directions. People agreeing with Jimmy and also disagreeing with Jimmy, as well as his wife, Steph, who's prominently featured in this clip. But let's dive right in and see if the controversy is warranted. This is a clip from a recent Jimmy Dore live stream, and needless to say, ruffled some feathers. Let's take a look here, and we can react again and see if it was warranting the controversy that came along with it. Here we go.
Yo, Jimmy, Steph, following up about donating to Nina, I agree 100%, but it still breaks my heart. Yo, Jimmy, Steph, following up about donating to Nina, I agree 100%, but it still breaks my heart. Love Nina. Have you seen the Marianne Williamson and Andrew Yang talk? Future party, exclamation mark, silver crown. Back to Jimmy.
Here we go. So at this show, our policy is you have to stop donating and voting for Democrats. You have to stop donating to them and stop voting for them.
Really the duopoly.
Yeah, that goes without saying to the Republican Party too. And you have to vote third party. If you vote Libertarian or whatever, you got to vote for a third party. I'm voting for the People's Party, and hopefully they can get ballot access. You know that the rules are set up to keep third parties off the ballot. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll have a third party to vote for. If I can't vote for the People's Party, I'll vote for another third party like I always do now. So because things will never change until, at least for one election cycle, you have to stop donating and stop voting for Democrats. At least for one election cycle. This would be a good one to do it.
Anyway, that's the clip. Again, it warranted quite a bit of controversy. I'll share my screen again. It might already be shared. But a couple people were calling this out. Ryan Grimm here says, I'm voting for the People's Party. Pretty sure there are no People's Party candidates to vote for, even though the alleged party is 5 years old and founded on the fierce urgency of the need for immediate action. And to be fair, Ryan is 100% correct here. The People's Party is 5 years old now. And despite the fact that they said they were going to be running candidates in the 2022 congressional election cycle, that looked increasingly unlikely. Again, despite the fact that they have well within their power the ability to run candidates as independents, which would then declare as People's Party affiliates if they were to win the race. This is a strategy that the Green Party employed in the Senate race in Maine, where Lisa Savage ran as an independent. And then her intention was, if she were to win, she would, of course, redeclare as a Green Party candidate. So this is a viable strategy for the People's Party, although it doesn't seem like one that necessarily going to embrace. We'll see what happens. Obviously, I'll eat my words if that does happen. But that being said, again, despite the People's Party thing, it seems like a lot of the anger over this, and I'm pulling up Emma Vigeland's tweet, is over the fact that he mentioned the Libertarian Party. He said, here at the Jimmy Dore Show, we vote third party. We do not support the duopoly. So, I'm personally going to vote for the People's Party if I can, but other people might vote for the Libertarian Party. Or I think what he was saying was that, I support third party voting. Wherever you align politically, vote for the third party that most reflects that, not necessarily the Democrat or Republican Party. And that's actually a message I agree with. Again, despite the fact that I think the People's Party is largely a joke, if you're a more right-leaning person, then yeah, I think it's better to vote for the Libertarian Party than it is the Republican Party. I don't necessarily think that Jimmy Dore was saying he's planning on voting for the Libertarian Party. I think, again, he was just kind of saying, mentioning it in the list of third parties that came to mind, right? So it's not like he's saying, go support the Libertarian candidate in Nina Turner's race necessarily. I'm not sure if there is one. But, I think he has every right to have that stance. I also am a third party voter. In the event that a terrible neoliberal hack like Joe Biden is nominated, I voted for Howie Hawkins in 2020, and I voted for Jill Stein in 2016. I simply refuse to vote for Democrats like Hillary or Biden. It's just like a boycott for me.
Okay. There's more to that. And as I said, I'm planning to give the link later on for the Vanguard. Highly recommend it. Subscribe to them. They're great. It is a little bit on the focusing on online left drama, but they also talk about real news that impact our lives. So I highly, highly recommend it. Please do subscribe to Zac and Gavin. They're good. They have great guests, and it is, it is the place to go as far as trying to find out what's going on the online left. So thumbs up to Zac and Gavin. Now, when Stephanie Zeromano, and I'm so sorry, I have a tough time pronouncing her name. It's terrible because I'm actually Facebook friends with Steph and Jimmy Dore. They don't know who I am, but they got thousands of friends. Although I did meet Steph at the Jimmy Dore concert back 2 weeks ago. Actually, she wouldn't remember that, but that's okay. Regarding what she was saying in the video regarding Nina Turner, and the whole thing about it is that they're tired of the two-party system. They seen what happened with Bernie Sanders. They seen what happened with their candidate Tulsi Gabbard in 2020. Which 2020 Tulsi Gabbard's a whole different person from 2021 and 2022 Tulsi Gabbard. I don't know what the hell's going on politically with her, but but the point is Tulsi Gabbard was also cheated in 2020, as well as some of the other candidates. I mean, it wasn't just Bernie they were going after. They had a target on Bernie, was the biggest target. But they also targeted Tulsi Gabbard, Marianne Williamson, Andrew Yang, and we have all kinds of different opinions of what we think of Andrew Yang. Then and now, same thing with Tulsi Gabbard. Although Marianne Williamson is looking better all the time, I like Marianne Williamson. But as far as Nina Turner, what was done to Bernie Sanders twice was done to her, last year in that district in Ohio, and they ended up with Chantel Brown. which was not just a victory for the corporate Democrats, it was also a victory for the Republicans. They worked together to try to destroy the Nina Turner campaign. They did the same thing with Cynthia McKinney in 2002. Democrats and Republicans get together, work to get rid of her. They see somebody as a problem, they go and find ways to get rid of that person. They did that to Dennis Kucinich in Ohio several years ago, about a decade back as well. But Emma Vigeland was trying to paint Jimmy Dore. That's what it comes down to. This obsession that's on the Majority Report of trying to destroy the reputation of Jimmy Dore, and they simply hate him. And and I'm sure there's no love from Jimmy toward Sam Seder and company. But that's just a funny picture of him, like getting very passionate with the smoke coming out of the ears. Kyle Kulinski said that Jimmy Dore has one gear, and that is to go nuclear. And that's great illustration there, that photo. That cracks me up. That's why I put it up there. But getting back to what I was saying, what was I saying? There's been a concentrated effort to smear him, to paint him as a Republican, to paint him as a right-winger, to paint him as alt-right even. They just talk about a Nasbolt alliance or red-brown alliance, and trying to paint Jimmy Dore as some racist and some anti-Semite, some homophobe. Like several months ago, they were talking about why in the world is he becoming friends with Dave Rubin, and because those two been attacked so much by Sam Seder that they were like, what the hell, there's obviously ideological difference between Dave Rubin and Jimmy Dore. And Emma Vigeland was trying to make it out like he's like Jimmy Dore is ironic because Jimmy Dore's being friends with a gay person. Isn't Jimmy Dore a homophobe? I never heard Jimmy Dore say anything homophobic ever. I never heard him say anything transphobic ever. I never heard. I mean, Jimmy Dore is, pretty standard as far as a leftist is concerned about being, pretty cool with LGBTQ people. But for some reason, Emma Vigeland wanted to kind of throw that in there. Because it's all about doing a smear job. And Emma Vigeland, I used to like her program when she was on Rebel headquarters at the Young Turks, when I was a fan of the Young Turks. And yeah, I know I put a picture of Jordan Sheridan beside her. Status Coup. I'm also going to put a link down for Status Coup. I'm even going to put down a link for the Young Turks and Rebel headquarters, and the Majority Report, because I'm consistent. But getting back to what I was saying, she's focused on trying to destroy Jimmy Dore, and she just has that in her mindset, and I think that the Majority Report likes to do this to keep their clicks going. I mean, when they are not talking about Jimmy Dore or Dave Rubin, they can go shit on Dave Rubin all they want, but if they're not talking about those two and they focus on real politics, it's actually halfway decent show. Although I do not like how they like to flirt with censorship. So that's my problem with the Majority Report. Is this always this focus on cancel culture? They do that. They do that more than the Young Turks, believe it or not. And I mean, at least the Young Turks halfway. I believe that Cenk Uygurt's still good on free speech issues, and a Kasparian claims she is. But then she finds a roundabout way of terms of agreement, that sort of thing, as a way to justify censorship. It's sort of, but she is at least more consistent on being for free speech than the people from the Majority Report, from what I noticed. So while I was kind of critical, still am critical of the Young Turks. They're better on free speech issues than the Majority Report. Shame on them for that. but it comes down to, Emma Vigeland wants to attack, insinuating that Jimmy Dore was urging people to go and vote for the Libertarian Party. Now, when it comes to the Libertarian Party, he was saying if you're not satisfied with the two-party choices, if you're a Democrat on the left, find a third party to your liking. If you're a Republican or right-leaning voter and you don't like the Republican Party, find a party to your liking in the third-party realms. That's basically what he was saying. And Jimmy Dore is more focused on independent political action. He's very territorial about the People's Party, which is why Ryan Grimm, who's a joke, Ryan Grimm is he's got a beef also against Jimmy Dore, and so he's want to go make fun of the People's Party. Now, do I think that the People's Party is a panacea for our problems? I'm agnostic to that fact. I am electorally in North Carolina with the Green Party. They're trying to get back their ballot access. I have a candidate I'm planning to vote for in November, Matthew Ho. And so that's where I'm focusing, is the Green Party right now. Where there is an effort to bring back the old Socialist Party of America, not to be confused with the Socialist Party USA, but it's basically kind of in the same tradition as the Socialist Party USA, but with a more social democratic angle than SPUSA is currently. There is a place for the SPUSA, but there needs to be a place for the more social democratic aspects of the SPUSA's past, or the SP's past, the Norman Thomas era. And so both will serve a useful role in society, in our political discourse regarding voting Libertarian. I had to vote Libertarian in 2012 for President Gary Johnson, not because I'm a Libertarian, but because, hey, fuck Barack Obama, fuck Mitt Romney. Seriously, they both suck. They neither of them were left-wing choices for me. And while the Libertarians suck on economics, at least Gary Johnson opposed capital punishment. It was for the legalization of marijuana, favor the United States getting out of all these interventionist wars abroad, supporting same-sex marriage, and these things kind of overlap with my left-wing values. So I said, well, what the hell? I guess I can vote for Gary Johnson this time, go with the Libertarians this time, and not feel dirty about it. So, and the thing about Jimmy Dore, he's being territorial with the People's Party, and I'm not going to blame him. If that is your focus right now, and you're trying to get a political party on its feet and everything, then that's what you do. I wish them well. And I mean, I personally don't see where the People's Party is going to be the next big thing politically. I mean, it might be the flavor of the months in the next year or two, and it might fade away, as I've seen it happen over and over again. I'm almost 53 years old in the next couple of weeks. And I'm going to tell you, in my lifetime, even before I got involved in politics, I was born in 1969. What was hot at the moment around the time I was born? The Peace and Freedom Party, when it was a national party, a few months prior to my birth, they nominated Eldridge Cleaver of the Black Panther Party as their candidate for president. Obviously, Richard Nixon won the election. The People's Party, another People's Party, was founded ran Benjamin Spock in 1972. The Peace and Freedom Party in California basically was an affiliate of that People's Party that was created. That People's Party faded out, and it was replaced by the Citizens Party in 1980 of Barry Commoner. And that particular party phased out by the early 1990s to be replaced with the Green Party, the New Party, the Labor Party, the New Alliance Party, and you had competing parties. I've been involved with the Socialist Party USA too. So you have all these groups around and trying to say, hey, the third party progressives, this is where you need to go. This is where you need to go. This is where you need to go. Well, I mean, that hasn't changed. I mean, there's still Socialist Party USA out there that runs presidential candidates. There's the Green Party Actually, in 2020, they collaborated together. Smart move. And Howie Hawkins of the SPUSA was the Green Party candidate for president. You have this People's Party that's being created. My impression or my take on it is they'd be best to work together. That's my take. I think it's disastrous to say, hey, we're going to do it our way. I mean, if I was sectarian about this shit and decided to go ultra protective, I would insist on an independent Labor Party being founded. So, something that akin to the New Democratic Party of Canada or the British Labour Party when it's not being contaminated by Tony Blair, of course, or the Swedish Social Democrats. That's more to my liking. And they're, as I said, that's ideologically where I gravitate. So regarding this, if you don't like Jimmy Dore, that's fine. A lot of people think that I am a huge Jimmy Dore fan. I like Jimmy Dore. I appreciate what he has to say. I don't agree with him on everything. I still think he's a bit harsh on Bernie Sanders and a bit harsh on AOC, which is my problem with Jimmy Dore. But on the opposite end, my problem with the Young Turks is that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and AOC could do no wrong. Same thing. That's the majority report mindset. My only problem with Kyle Kulinski is he's got the most correct take on Bernie Sanders, AOC, the squad. He's got the most relevant, logical take, which is, they are worthy of criticism. They may be the best we got, but they are worthy of criticism. So by all means, don't sit there and shit on them the way Jimmy Dore would, but don't sit there and praise them to the sky and act like they could do no wrong the way that the Young Turks or the majority report. I take a more Kyle Kulinski take on it that there's a grain of salt to be taken. There's nuance. Now, regarding even I have some problems with Kyle Kulinski as far as his not being open to independent political action. If anything, and I know they're not particularly chummy these days, Kyle Kulinski and Jimmy Dore, and I wish that they go and would go and try to not bury the hatchet at each other, but bury the hatchet, meaning restore their friendship, because and go back to working closer together as allies, because they really, to me, in my opinion, they got more in common with each other than either of them would the Young Turks. And my program, the Willie Bragg Show, ideologically, if I may actually drop in my program's concept, I kind of think it's a kind of program that would appeal to people who would listen to Kyle Kulinski or listen to Jimmy Dore or listen to Status Coup or listen to Jackson Hinkle or someone who would listen to listen to Kim Iverson on a good day. I get when she's or listen to Shoe on Head or someone that anyway. As I said, that's how I kind of see my program. People who would listen to Chapo Trap House, people who listen to The Amazing Atheist, I do the whole laundry list of everyone. Point I'm trying to make is that I think that if Kyle could move more toward independent politics, I think that would be that would make his program a hell of a lot better, because honestly, the Democratic Party is a dead end. I'm not even so sure we could do this through independent political action. I have become very cynical. Now, I'm going to continue to report favorably on Nina Turner and any Democrat that's out there to try to upset the system, knowing full well that you can't change the Democratic Party, but the Democratic Party will, of course, change you. But if somebody's out there trying to fight the good fight, I'm not going to declare them my enemy. I'm going to wish them well if they can do it. If they can do it, I don't plan to vote for a Democrat ever again. sure as hell we ain't going to vote for a Republican. But the point I'm trying to make is I had to draw the line in the sand. I'm not out there to judge anybody. I'm not out there to judge anybody. If you think that supporting the Democrats is going to bring us this Labor Party within the Democratic Party, I wish you well. And if it happens, hey, I will join you officially. If it takes supporting the Green Party to get us there, or it takes the People's Party, or it takes the newly forming Socialist Party of America, or the Socialist Party USA to do this, then that's where I'll go. I'm not that dogmatic that if I see success actually taking place and I see something that's tangible that's going on as a result, then I'm more than open to it. So I'm not here to go and dump on left-wing Democrats if they're fighting the good fight. But, if I see them, and from what I can tell, if I see them bending the knee toward the establishment in ways that I don't think they need to, then I'm going to call them out on it. I mean, but if they're fighting the good fight, and I am understanding that sometimes there are roadblocks too. So while I'm critical and join Jimmy Dore as far as being critical of Bernie Sanders and the AOC, I think it's over the top to act like, well, they're just no different from Mitch McConnell. They're no different from Marjorie Taylor Greene. Of course they are. They're still different from Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer too. But the point is that they have some obstacles. Now, I do think they bend the knee a little too much for my liking. That's my opinion. They bend the knee too much. But you know what? I'm the one to sit there and say, well, hell with them. That's ridiculous. And I've been in a situation where I've been in political circles where that kind of circular firing squad mentality takes place. It's a bit tiresome. But anyway, you've heard enough from me. If you like what you heard, press like and comment. If you disagree, comment anyway. Feel free to share the content on this channel. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it, because we're, in fact, the muckrakers of our time. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. And until next time, keep the red flag flying high. Fan the flames of discontent. Basically wage class warfare. And until next time, keep in mind that we are all Julian Assange. Free Julian Assange. Take it easy. Now, music.